Bueno, muy buenas tardes para todas las personas que empiezan a unirse a esta sesión informativa del día de hoy. Bienvenidos, bienvenidas a esta tarde del 19 de noviembre del 2025. Como lo pueden observar, estamos el día de hoy en un webinar muy especial organizado con Georgetown. Particularmente en este caso tenemos a las dos facultades con las cuales Colfuturo actualmente tiene convenio, es decir, con Law Center y McCarter School of Public Policy. Y aquí tenemos a sus dos representantes. Por el lado de McCarter School está Trish y por el lado del Law Center está Jessica. Ellas nos van a brindar información súper fundamental e importante en temas relacionados con oferta académica, opciones de financiación, becas, hospedaje, bueno, todas las demás recomendaciones que ellas consideren importantes para las personas que están empezando a planear este posgrado. Y también estamos aquí con Daniel. Daniel es beneficiario de Colfuturo del año 2023, específicamente beneficiario del convenio con McCarter School of Public Policy. Así que él también nos va a compartir su experiencia tanto con Colfuturo como con la universidad. Y la invitación en este punto es a que aprovechemos al máximo todo lo que ellos tengan por compartirnos en este espacio y que dejemos las preguntas que nos puedan surgir, tanto para Trish como para Daniel como para Jessica, a través del cajón de Q&A, que ellos con muchísimo gusto nos ayudarán a solucionarlo al finalizar la sesión, que vamos a tener un espacio específico destinado a a la respuesta de preguntas. Eh, Como sabrán, estos webinars informativos se hacen en el marco de nuestros convenios y con Georgetown Law Center tenemos un convenio que consta de ofrecer tres becas del 33% en el programa de LLM, y para McCarter School tenemos un convenio que consta de ofrecer entre una y cinco becas de mínimo $15,000. Entonces, como les digo, son grandes oportunidades que nos ofrecen estas facultades de Georgetown y que vale totalmente la pena aprovecharlas. Entonces, sin mayor preámbulo, Trish, Daniel, Jessica, thank you so much for being here today with COLFUTURO. You can go ahead. The stage is yours.
Thank you, gracias. Buenas noches, I guess. Hi, everyone. My name, as Karen, I believe, mentioned, is Trish Makovsky. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions with the McCourt School of Public Policy. So today I'm going to be talking about our university and specifically our graduate programs that we offer through the McCourt School. So as you may know, Georgetown University is located in Washington, D.C. It's a very historic Jesuit university founded all the way back in 1789 by Father John Carroll. As I said, it's a Jesuit university, so we really bring in the mission of service and education throughout the university, through the courses, and also building into the curriculum things like ethics in policy. Our degree program and what is now the School of Public Policy grew from the government department back in the 1990s. And then in 2013, we officially became a school after our founding donor, Frank McCourt, gave us a large donation to do so. So in 2013, we officially were named the McCourt School of Public Policy. And with that, we had many additional resources and additional programs begun after that time. The most recent change that we've had is just back in last year, about a year and a half ago, 2024, in the summer, we moved to the new downtown location, actually right next door to Georgetown Law. So we, together with the Law Center, are right down the street from the U.S. Capitol, and Georgetown's calling that their Capitol campus. So it's a very exciting time to be at McCourt, and lots of exciting changes over the last few years and moving forward into the future. So we offer 5 different master's degree programs. I'm not going to get into specific detail with each one of them, but I'm happy to answer whatever questions there might be more individually. But talking more generally about our degree programs, as I said, we have 5 that are listed there. I would say the overall theme of our curriculum and a goal that we have is to train students to become evidence-based policymakers. So a lot of the programs include quantitative methods curriculum with the goal of really producing students who understand data analytics. So our Master of Public Policy, we call it the MPP, is our most generalized of our master's degree programs. So this is the traditional degree in public policy that you can find throughout the country. It's definitely the most flexible. It includes the most elective options, which means you have a lot of choices. It's offered on a full-time or part-time basis as well. And then this one is 2 years full-time. We also have a few different, more specialized degree programs as well. So the Master of International Development Policy program is also 2 years full-time. And of course, as the name suggests, it's very specialized to students who want to work in developing countries or for international organizations, for example. So the curriculum is very specific to developing countries and creating and evaluating policies in those regions. Our Master of Science in Data Science for Public Policy program is the newest one that we have offering. We call it the DSPP. This is also a 2-year full-time program. And this is our most technical degree program. Daniel is a graduate of this program, so he'll be able to talk in more detail about his experience. But this is this is a program that really combines data science and public policy using things like large language models, predictive models, to answer public policy questions. All three of those top MPP, MIDP, and DSPP are all STEM certified. So this means that as an international student, if you graduate from the program, you get a 2-year STEM extension for your OPT. OPT stands for Optional Practical Training. Essentially, you can work for 3 years, up to 3 years, for students who complete a STEM degree at the graduate level. Again, I can answer additional questions if you have some. Our Master of Policy Management program is more of our mid-career program. So this program requires at least 5 years of work experience and is offered on both a full-time or part-time. As this program is designed for mid-level professionals, it is quicker, so it only would take 1 year full-time. And then finally, our Executive Master of Policy, or our EMPL, is our newest program that we have relaunched. This is our advanced career professional program, and it requires a minimum of 10 years of work. The structure for this program is slightly different. So students will take basically one extensive immersive class per every 6 weeks. And you are in class all day for 6 days in a row. And then you go back to your hometown, home country, and then travel back and forth. So it's a little structured different. So I mentioned briefly our electives, and these are the courses that you really get to choose your own adventure, so to speak. Each program has at least a few electives, and these are general, very broad topic areas that you could. On our next page here, this gives you a more specific understanding or vision of what some of the current fall 2025 electives are. So you have a lot of choices, classes that are focused on specific areas of policy areas of interest, so environmental policy, for example, education policy, things like data visualization, which is more of a skills building type course. And then also some that are focused more on regional areas, like you can see Latin American economic policy challenges. So again, through the electives is really where you can build your own curriculum and focus in on an area of your. So with the Master of Public Policy program, we also have dual degree options as well. So not only do we have a dual degree with the law school, with the MPPJD, but we have a variety of other programs that you see on the screen. The one thing to note is that for applications, you apply to both programs separately, and they go through different admissions committees, different evaluation processes. And then if you are admitted to both programs separately, that's when you can become a dual. I wanted to shift now to talk about what we think is special about the McCourt School and Georgetown University generally. So of course, the location of Washington, D.C. is a very big draw for many students. Being that we are right down the street from the US Capitol, our students are in the middle of where everything is happening. We have congressmen and women, senators who come and speak at different events on our campus, in our building. In addition to that, the access, that's because of the DC location, as I mentioned at the start, we have a very evidence-based and quantitative focused curriculum. So the skills that you're building will be relevant for many different types of jobs in any of the different sectors. In addition, we really have a very vibrant and collaborative community. I think Daniel can probably talk about the ways to get engaged outside of the classroom, but there is just plenty of opportunities to do so, whether that's through student organizations or internships or getting involved in research centers. So there are just plenty of resources for students, both academically and outside the curriculum, outside the courses as well. I know that our students really do take advantage of all of these features that the McCourt School offers. So turning to the admissions portion of the presentation, I'll just briefly go over some of our application requirements. So we do have an application, general online application, as well as a $90 application fee. We do offer application fee waivers for students. So you can ask me how to go about doing that. We also have it posted on our website as well. You'll upload a resume or your CV, as well as one required essay, the academic statement. We also have an additional essay that's optional, the optional statement. And oftentimes the difference between the two essays, the academic statement of purpose is of course more focused on the specific program that you're interested in. Why Georgetown? Why Washington, D.C., for example? What is your academic background or your career goals? Whereas the optional statement often, I think it sheds more light into you personally. So talking about things that you may have experienced or obstacles that you have overcome. What makes you unique? What makes your viewpoint special? And how would you be able to bring in your perspective and share that with your classmates and enhance everyone's. For your undergraduate schooling, you will upload your transcripts. So we don't require the university to send the transcripts directly at the point of application, but you can upload the transcripts yourself. For 3 of our programs, the ones listed here, the ones that are more quantitative in nature, we do still list the GRE as a test requirement. However, students are also allowed to waive that test. So specifically, if you have a background where you can demonstrate your skill set within quantitative methods, you can certainly request a GRE waiver. For students who have completed their degree at a non-English speaking university or outside of the US, you will be required to submit a valid TOEFL or IELTS score. As long as it's valid, we'll accept it to come from the individual testing facilities. We do have some minimum scores that we list on our website as well. Finally, the programs require 3 letters of recommendation, only 2 for our EMPL program. And these letters should come from both academic and professional people as well. So if you have access to both of those, we would prefer at least one academic recommender and one recommender who knows you from work or a professional setting. So with a few of our programs require some specific coursework. For the MPP and MIDP programs, we require a Principles of Microeconomics course, and that's because the curriculum goes straight into intermediate microeconomics. If you have not taken that by the time you apply, that's okay. We would just then offer you a conditional admission, and before you enroll, you can take that class either at a local university, online, or we now offer our own version that's free and it's online that can be completed over the summer if you do still need to fulfill that requirement and you are planning to enroll with that. For our data science for public policy program, we prefer to have students with some kind of technical background. So having experience with coding, Python, R is strongly recommended. It's not a strict requirement. You can still learn these things in the program, but it would be more difficult. So having academic courses in things like statistics, advanced math courses, computer science, those are all really favorable with your application. Same with a calc. But again, these aren't strict requirements. So if you can demonstrate your quantitative and technical abilities in another way, that could be fine. I briefly mentioned for our 2 advanced career professional programs, the minimum work experience requirements. However, with our MPP and our DSPP programs, no work experience is required. And then for our MIDP program, we generally prefer to have 2 years of relevant work experience within the development sector. These aren't strict requirements, though. Many students have some work experience, but it's okay if you don't. And then quickly, just our application deadlines. So if you're planning to apply for fall 2026, we have our early deadline coming up December 1st. And then our priority deadline is January 15th as well. These are our scholarship deadlines, which I'll talk about in a second. But other than the timing of when you receive your decision back, the application review process is exactly the same. And we have one final deadline of March 1st as well. As I said, with the, I would talk about scholarships next. We do try to distribute as much funding to as many people as possible. Georgetown, the university, the tuition is very expensive as it is a private university. But because of that, we award about 75% of admitted students some kind of merit scholarship. Mostly these are partial tuition awards. It can range between about 10% of tuition to 50% or so. With COLFUTURO, we do have an agreement that we will guarantee a minimum scholarship for up to 5 students, admitted COLFUTURO students, an award of, actually it's $20,000 now. I forgot to update that. So it's a $20,000 minimum scholarship for 5 COLFUTUROs. And I guess the caveat is any COLFUTURO scholarship and merit-based scholarship is all in the same pool of funding. So you don't add one on top of the other. We do also have a full tuition scholarship. Those are called our McCourt Scholars. We have 5 students selected each year for our full scholarships, our McCourt scholars, and they also come with a living stipend. I may have gone over my time, but I'm now going to introduce you to one of our recent alums, Daniel, and he can talk about his experience.
Ok. Bueno, hola a todos, mi nombre es Daniel Cárdenas. Yo, como dijo Trish, soy graduado del programa de Data Science for Public Policy. Empecé en 2023 y terminé este año, terminé en mayo. Soy bogotano y ahorita me encuentro haciendo mi doctorado en Austria. Entonces me fui de Estados Unidos y estoy acá en Austria aguantando un poquito de frío, pero bien. Para mí la decisión de entrar a McCourt fue básicamente el programa, la unión de Data Science con el lado de políticas públicas era algo que yo estaba buscando en todas partes y que como que hizo clic en McCourt. Y durante todo el tiempo que estuve estudiando sentí esa unión siempre, cuando veía cosas que eran siempre más técnicas y siempre tenía el lado aplicado. Y algo de lo que estaba diciendo Trish que me parece súper interesante y que no puedo dejar de recomendárselos, y es lo fácil que es como tener amplias perspectivas de lo que está pasando y tener invitados y speakers que van a hablar realmente de cómo suceden las políticas públicas. Ya me voy a explicar más. Desde los grupos de estudiantes, por ejemplo, hice parte de un par y era realmente sencillo y para mí era realmente como increíble ver que podían convocar a gente, líderes de industria o a académicos de renombre a que fueran a hablar en sus charlas y a hacer discusiones todo el tiempo. Es la unión de cosas técnicas y la política pública se sentía todo el tiempo. Y por eso no puedo, o sea, no puedo dejar de recomendarles que apliquen a Mocorp. Disfruté cada segundo estando allá y sin duda esta unión entre Mocorp y Colfuturo es genial porque ambas partes tienen las condiciones muy claras. Georgetown nunca los va a dejar solos en todo el proceso de la visa y en todo el proceso incluso en el proceso de admisión. Y Colfuturo siempre va a tener reglas muy claras de cómo les paga, de cuánto les paga y cómo entra el dinero a sus cuentas. Así que sí, mi consejo es empiecen a escribir las cartas, tómense el tiempo para escribir las cartas bien, pidan con antelación las cartas a quienes los están recomendando, las cartas de recomendación y apliquen que de verdad vale la pena y vale la pena hacerlo también con Colfuturo.
So yeah, so thank you so much for having us here and discussing a little bit more about Georgetown Law as well as the McCourt Public Policy. We are now neighbors, part of the same campus. So it's very nice, our first time doing this presentation together, and it's very, very nice to hear more about the programs offered next door to us, which it may overlap a lot with our programs as well. So here is a little bit sneak peek of our beautiful campus. And then I'd like to discuss a little bit about reasons to consider an LLM in the US. And there are other countries that are offering an LLM as well. I think I will back up a little bit just because some of you may not know what an LLM is. So I just want to explain. So it's a Master's of Law. So it's a program for who is already graduated in law in their home country and want to maybe explore different career in the US or like different career specialization back home. So they come to do an LLM and specialize in one specific subject, or they want to take the bar exam in the US and become a US trained lawyer as well. So they use the LLM to do that as well. So I am originally from Brazil. I did the LLM in 2019. And I did one of the programs we offer here is the International Business and Economic Law. So with this backstory, now I'm going to explain a little bit more why we think the LLM may be a good fit for you, and you, with this information, you can also think if it makes sense in your career, in your life, to apply for one of our programs. So the law is becoming more and more international. The transactions are more and more international. So studying US law, it may help you in your career back home to understand better your client, to understand better how the laws are applied, or simply having that advantage of understanding different minds and how lawyers from around the world think and solve their problems, right? So if you are negotiating with other clients or lawyers, having an LLM experience will help you also in that sense of having a better experience. You can straighten your legal English and communication. Of course, for you to join our program, you already have to have a certain level of English skills. But for sure, the program helps you to strengthen your English, your legal ability to communicate in writing, speaking. As I said before, is also a program that offers you to do the requirement classes for New York Bar. So many of our students do the LLM in order to apply for New York Bar and take the exam and potentially become a US trained lawyer in New York. I'm happy to explore more about New York Bar if you have any questions about it. And another possibility of the LLM that's great when you come to the US on an F1 visa, so a student visa, you are eligible to get what we call an OPT, optional practical training. And this OPT allows the student to stay 1 extra year in the US if they find a job in their area, in their field. So if you work at a law firm or a company or a multilateral organization, you may use that OPT year to stay and extend your stay in the US. The LLM is a great opportunity for you to meet people from all over the world, people working in the US as well, and just expand your networking, and helps you not only with connections in the US, but worldwide. And it's a great program for that. Not only making the actual connections, but actually teaching you how to make those connections. It's also an advantage to study in a new environment surrounded by different people from all over the world. I think in a Socratic method that's very unique and that helps a lot of our minds to understand the different points of views and different methods of teaching and learning. And so it's for many reasons. Of course, I'm extremely biased because I did the program and now work at Georgetown. So I feel I'm a little biased to say, but it's a marvelous program. It's a life-changing opportunity offered by Georgetown. So we have a different program. So when we say an LLM, it's very general, right? So we offer some more flexible options. So the general studies, international legal studies, international business and economic law, they are options that are more flexible. So students have more flexibility in choosing their classes. And then they can add also a certificate of specialization if they wish within their degree. So you don't add more credits, but you do the certificate within the credits you already have during your program. And I'm happy to cover the credits, and it's a lot of information. So I just want to give you an overview, and I'm happy to go more in depth if you have questions. And then the certificates we offer: international human rights, international arbitration and dispute resolution, securities and financial law, refugees and humanitarian emergencies, and the trade studies. So you can add any of those certificates into those flexible programs that we talked here. And then those programs, they are flexible not only because you can design and really craft a program that is it's really good for you, but also because it gives you that extra space for you to fit in classes that you need for New York Bar. So if you are thinking about taking New York Bar, those flexible programs are a great advantage for you to do that. But of course, we also offer the specialized programs. And the specialized programs as environmental and energy law, national and global health law, national security law, taxation law, and technology law and policy. So those programs are specialized, and of course, the majority of the credits will be focused on the area of law you choose. There is still a little bit flexibility, which means students can also take New York Bar classes in those specialized programs. It can become a little bit tricky to do everything, and some classes may not overlap with the required classes for the program. So we have amazing program directors who guide you and help you to try to fit everything in. But we'll talk a little bit later about another opportunity that the students have in order to do all the credits and not be struggling so much in fitting all the credits if it's the case of doing a specialized program on top of New York Bar classes. And then we offer some very unique programs, the Master in International Affairs with Science Po, and the MBA or International Master in International Management with AGC in Paris. So those two programs, the student will do 1 year in Paris, and then the second year will study, come here to Georgetown and do an LLM. And then at the end of the 2-year program, they will get 2 master degree certificates. So it's an amazing opportunity for students that want to explore other areas that's not only law. And then the global health and law and governance, where the student comes for the first semester here at Georgetown, studies here, and then the second semester the student goes to Geneva and study at the Graduate Institute in Geneva, another amazing program. I can, again, cover more about the programs in depth if you are interested in some programs. I just want to cover a little bit about the advantage of Georgetown. And as Trish mentioned, we are located in Washington, D.C., and very close to the Congress, the Supreme Court, many other courts, strategically located. The law center was strategically located close to the top law firms as well. So we are not only, steps away from all those places, but we are very close working with those places. So we have amazing team that is really working on getting these professionals coming to campus, giving conferences, networking possibilities for students, but also not only that, but also being able for the students to go to those places and attending events and meeting people. And one amazing thing about Georgetown is our centers and institutes as well. So one example in being so close of the Supreme Court, I love mentioning this. We have the Supreme Court Institute at Georgetown, and it's the only university in the US that has that institute, and we do mock hearings. So all the hearings that are gonna be seen before the Supreme Court, they can come to Georgetown for practice. So the lawyers, one of the parties can come in practice at Georgetown. And the students can see that firsthand, of course, after signing many NDAs. And so they have that opportunity of watching that firsthand, and later maybe going to the actual Supreme Court and watching the actual hearing. So it's an amazing opportunity. We have many other centers and institutes. We have centers and institutes focused on the specific laws, for example, technology, constitutional law, and it helps students bringing more events to our campus, but also they work with cutting edge areas of law. So it's very interesting for students to work closely with them, attend their events, maybe become research assistant. So it's an amazing place where a lot of things are happening. It's very dynamic. Georgetown is one of the biggest law schools in the country. We have a large JD and LLM class, and that makes possible for us to offer a huge amount of courses. And we are the law school that offer the most classes in the US. And so in any area you can think about, you can Google our curriculum guide, and you can check. We offer a huge amount of variety in each of the topics. You can choose from health law, as we talk, technology, trade, arbitration, and so on. So you can see all the classes there. We have every year more than 400, 500 LLM students from more than 60 different countries. So it's another way of learning, not only from your professor, but also with your classmates. It's a great place and very dynamic and diverse to be. The summer experience I like to highlight is what I told you before. If you are thinking about a specialized program and you may be worried about your credits being enough for you to do the required classes for New York Bar, the summer experience really helps the students to with that gap. So the summer experience starts in July. It's only for LLM students who will come in August. So they come just a little earlier, and then they have a chance of learning foundations of US law, professional responsibility, and so they get 4 credits during summer, which can be directly applied to the New York Bar if the student want to take New York Bar exam. But for many reasons, the summer experience is a great opportunity. The campus is kind of quiet because it's summer, so it's focused on only exclusively on those students. So it's a very amazing opportunity for the students to get to know more their own pace of studying the campus, learning more already, and started the LLM with a different foot. 2 more things before I move on from advantages. We have an amazing careers office. They work closely with LLM students. They know the need. They know exactly how to advocate for them and also seek for opportunities for them. So they have many, many different opportunities. One of them is the externship opportunity that the LLM has on the 2nd semester. Even as an international student, the student can go off campus and work for 1 full semester, up to 20 hours a week. So being in Washington, D.C., again, is a great advantage. There are many places, multilateral organizations as IDB, World Bank, IMF, IFC, all the top firms that students can take advantage and do the internship at those places. And then the last but not least is the alumni engagement. More than 50,000 law alumni worldwide, which back in my networking example before, I think it's a great institution that keeps the alumni very engaged, and not only because of the alumni, but also to help current and future students of Georgetown. And then just like practical, I just have 2 more slides here, more practical information. If you're thinking about applying, I know Karen mentioned about our scholarship to COLFUTURO, so we increased the amount actually to 50%. So we give 50% of scholarship to up to 3 students that COLFUTURO choose to give funding. So this is an amazing discount for people who apply to COLFUTURO and end up getting their funding. We know they are highly qualified candidates. So that's our offering to also help, because as Trish mentioned, studying in the US is expensive, and then you add the law on that, it becomes a little extra expensive. So to make it more affordable, we are giving that 50%. So application, we highly recommend applying through LSAC. The materials are fairly standard to all the universities. So application form, transcripts with translations, 2 letters of recommendations, resume, TOEFL or IELTS, TOEFL being 100, IELTS being 7.5, and then the personal statement. There it feels like it's supposed to be easy, but I know there are a lot of questions around here. I'll wait if you have more in-depth question about application. And then financing, as we said, we always recommend it because it is a very expensive program. We recommend to look in all the possibilities that you can find. So COLFUTURO is one, Fulbright, and even our own scholarship. So each university will have their own. I'm very proud to say, even though Trish mentioned we are a private institution, our tuition is high, but I'm very proud to say that Georgetown is working very hard on giving scholarships. So we have a general merit-based scholarship, which can vary the amount from $10,000 up to $40,000, depend on the merit, has a holistic approach to it, so many things will take into consideration. Candidates that apply to COLFUTURO, as I said, and get the funding from COLFUTURO will get the 50%. But the many other candidates that don't get the COLFUTURO funding, they are still maybe getting like a great amount of scholarship from us if they have a really good resume, which means many things, right? Where you graduated, your GPA, if you have work experience, where have you worked before, and all those things. But I'm happy to cover a little more details about scholarships. We also offer the specialized scholarships. So if you're applying to a specialized program like tax, arbitration, you can also apply for that specific scholarship. But I'm happy to go a little further and cover this with you. So if you have any questions, please email us. I think Trish and I gave a lot of information. One thing I would like for you to take with you is this is just a very simple sample of like us being available. And truly we are available. We are available before you start applying, during your application, and after. We are here to guide the students, and that's the message. That's why we like doing these presentations, because that's the message we like to end with. It's a lot of information for you to observe everything. So I'm sure you are going to have many questions. So we are happy to connect and answer any questions you may have through email or furthering our discussions. Yes, that's it for me now, and we are going to wait for your question.
Perfect, Jessica. Thank you so much for the presentation. Trish, thank you also. Y Daniel, también muchísimas gracias para ti. Bueno, pues teníamos una pregunta por aquí. Susana nos había dicho algo. Entonces, Trish, if I apply in the second round of application, can I still benefit from the COLFUTURO partnership with Georgetown, even though the admission letter would arrive after COLFUTURO's application deadline?
Sure, yes. So as long as we are aware that you have been selected from COLFUTURO, if you've already received an offer with a scholarship, but it is under the $20,000 minimum, we can always increase it to match that agreement award amount. So yes, no problem.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, Jessica, Trish, oh yeah, we have a question here. And okay, deeply grateful for the welcoming presentation of Trish and Jessica, also Daniel, as a testimony of the wonderful offers. May I ask, is there any possibilities of getting involved or remunerated activities directly with the university to support maintenance and living expenses while studying?
Yeah, I'm happy to say in name of the here in the law. I mean, we are in the Capital campus, but the Trish may have another different policy there. So here we have a few roles that the students can take. One is working in some different offices. For example, the admissions office, we hire student workers. There are plenty of offices that hire student workers. You can work as a teaching assistant or research assistant. Of course, those roles are not many available out there. So it's we tended to tell students not to rely on those to survive. It's more on like having these as an extra bonus, right? So if you are making a few hours a week, that's a bonus for you to live more comfortably. But don't take it as like, okay, I'm gonna definitely get a job and this is gonna pay for my food. So I would not recommend rely on that for that reason.
Yes, and I would echo the same sentiment. We have similarly assistantship opportunities for our current students, which could include research assistantships with a professor or a research center, graduate assistantships working with a department at the McCourt School, or as a second year student, we also hire teaching. So outside of our scholarships, and there are additional funding options as well. Daniel was actually accepted for our Tech and Public Policy Scholars Program, which I'm sure he can talk about if you have questions. But there are opportunities. As Jessica said, our assistantships are generally minimal. It's not going to help with the overall tuition bill. They are part-time jobs on campus paid at an hourly rate, between $19 and $23 per hour right now. And generally, students can work up to 20 hours per week on campus. So it can help with books and rent, but as Jessica said, it's not going to help you completely.
Perfect. Daniel, ¿tú nos podrías compartir tu experiencia frente a esto? Mientras estudiaste, trabajaste?
Sí, sí, de hecho, lo que decía Trish, eso lo hice durante los 2 años. Yo era Research Assistant todo
Mm.
el tiempo que estuve trabajando. Si es posible, lo que ella dijo es clave, como sostenerse tiene que ir por otro lado y esto es como dinero adicional que pueden conseguir. Y también depende de moverse rápido. Hay un montón de posiciones, no solamente en la facultad, sino en todo Georgetown. Tiene una plataforma súper buena que se llama Green algo, y ahí uno puede encontrar todas las posiciones y aplicar y algo puede salir, algo puede.
Perfecto, Daniel, gracias. Okay, this question is for Jessica. So, how does an LLM approach corporate matters, securities, and M&A? Does this area of law fit the focus of a law school?
Yes, yes. Thank you for your question. Yes, definitely. We even have a certificate called Securities and Financial Law, which can be added to one of the flexible programs. Usually, students tend to add it to the International Business and Economic Law. I would say our law school is really focus on corporate as much as public service. So we have plenty of classes in corporate, negotiation, financing, banking, capital markets, M&A. We cover all ranges of topics, and you are gonna see on the curriculum guide a very...
Hoy parece que Jessica tiene problemas de conexión. A ver. Sí, bueno, parece que Jessica tiene algunos problemas de conexión. Esperemos que retome en unos minutos. Mientras tanto, Trish, do we need a specific graduate degree to apply, or can it be for anyone?
Sure. So for our public policy degree programs, you do not need a specific undergraduate degree. Generally, we just require a bachelor's degree for eligibility. In fact, we value that students have different academic backgrounds for their degrees. Many students are involved in policy already, or politics or economics, but we have a lot of students that are using this degree to get into the policy world as well. So we are very open to students from any kind of academic background.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'm
Okay,
sorry
Jenny.
about my
Yeah.
connection, Karen. I have to change
Sure.
the room here, so I'm sorry. But yes, so if I may just finish what I was saying, but yeah, so we have plenty of classes on that, and in fact, we have an institute that is the Transnational Law Institute and the Transnational Business Law Institute as well. So a lot of things happening in the corporate side. So I would invite you to check on the website and send an email if you have more questions. I can send you a few links as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jessica. Well, Trish, Daniel, Jessica, we didn't have any more question for you in this moment. So thank you again for your participation in the session. Oh, yeah, Trish.
Can I just share my contact information?
Yeah, please. Yes.
Okay, great.
Daniel, y si quieres hacer lo mismo para que las personas puedan de pronto contactarse contigo en caso que tengan alguna inquietud, también podrías colocarlo a través del chat si quieres. Jessica, also, if you want to put your contact details in the chat. it will be so useful.
Please feel free to reach out. I have my personal email as well as our general McCourt admissions inbox. We would love to have a conversation one-on-one and answer whatever questions you may have.
Perfect, Trish. Thank you so much. Jessica, thank you. Y Daniel, también mil gracias por compartir con nosotros tu experiencia. Nos alegra que estés haciendo ahorita tu doctorado y te deseamos pues que sigas teniendo esos grandes éxitos. Trish, Jessica, thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you so
Gracias.
much.
Perfect.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a nice day. Bye.